In real life, we could use a Sam Wilson Captain America, but the sad reality is we wouldn't deserve it. And welcome to my Safe Gayven, everybody. Thank you guys so much for clicking on another video and joining me here on the BlackGayComicGeek channel. If this is your first time checking out the channel, let me introduce myself. My name is Michael. I call myself the BlackGayComicGeek. And I always say the things that I love to talk about on my channel has blood, sex, gore, and magic, or any variation of the four. So I mostly like to talk about fantasy here on the channel, comic books, superheroes, action movies, horror movies, etc. And of course, I like to talk about black representation and queer representation, or sometimes the lack, not sometimes, more times than not, the lack thereof in fantasy movies. So if you think that's important, if you think representation equals normalization, if you like the videos, if you like the perspective, you like the analysis, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. Guys, I finally did it. I have reached not even just 10,000, I'm a little bit over 10,000 subscribers. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I would not be able to get to this point if it wasn't for you guys, if it wasn't for you sharing the videos, liking the videos, hitting that like button, because it tells YouTube that my channel is worth getting out there, that the videos are worth getting out there so more eyes can see me, and subscribe. So let's continue to grow. Thank you guys so much. I am over 10,000. Thank you. I cannot stop smiling. I never thought I would get to this point, but here I am. So let's see if we can continue to grow the channel. So with that said, guys, I got to see yesterday Captain America Brave New World is the latest movie in Marvel's Phase 5, the first movie of 2025, and only the second movie starring a black main lead, with the black main lead as the title character of an over $100 million budgeted movie. It's only the second one. Black Panther, well, I would guess technically the third one, or maybe the fourth one, because Black Panther 1 and 2, the Marvels, because even though it wasn't just about Monica Rambeau, she was still the lead. She is the Marvel. And now Captain America. Only 4 movies in the history of Hollywood have had a black main lead starring as the title character with over $100 million budget and a superhero movie. So yeah, is it good? Let's get into it. This is going to be a non-spoiler review. So the synopsis for Captain America Brave New World is: Sam Wilson finds himself in the middle of an international incident after meeting with President Thaddeus Ross. He must soon discover the reason behind a nefarious global plot before the true mastermind has the entire world seeing red. And yeah, I'm gonna just admit, this review is gonna be like all over the place, because this movie is a mixed bag for me. But first, let me get the elephant out of the room, or address the elephant in the room first with regards to this movie, because there's a lot of controversy regarding this movie. First, because it was originally called Captain America New World Order, which is, I guess, like an anti-Semitic trope. So you had a lot of Jewish creators and things like that coming out against the title of this movie. And on top of that, there's a character in this movie named Sabra, Ruth, played by Shira, I don't know the name of the actress's name, Shira Haas, and she's basically Israel's version of Captain America. She's like Captain Israel, and there are moments in the comics of like her unaliving Palestinians and things like that. And so the fact that they put her in this movie, there's a lot of people that are not going to see this movie, that are going to boycott this movie because of that. And I'm not here to say whether they're right or wrong. If you're going to boycott the movie, you know, good or whatever, or that's your decision. Obviously, I'm not here for genocide. I don't support genocide. I'm for the Palestinian plight. But with me, and the thing that made this movie a difficult decision to even support or watch this movie, because again, it's like, I feel like you're putting black people specifically in a rock, between a rock and a hard place, where, like I said, this is only the 4th movie in Hollywood history where you're getting a black title character, you know, in a $100 million movie. This is only the 3rd movie starring a superhero in the MCU. But again, or I'll even say because Black Panther 1 and 2, I'm not counting Black Panther 1 because there's still Black Panther. So Black Panther, the Marvels, and now Captain America. And it's like, I don't want this movie to fail because of that, because if it fails, they're going to instantly blame it on the fact that it's a black man, especially in this current era that we're in of them trying to wipe away all things quote unquote DEI, or not even just DEI, but get rid of slavery and civil rights and all that other stuff in history books and everything else that's going on. So I'm just like, for me, that's why I feel like I need to support this movie, because I'm rooting for everybody black. Now, that doesn't mean, again, that doesn't mean you have to. If you make the decision to not support the movie or go see the movie, that's your decision. And then also, let's be real, like, I got to see the movie as a screener. Even with me watching the movie, I saw it for free, but I'm still somewhat supporting the movie, even in just the fact that I'm reviewing and talking about it. So I wanted to get that out of the way. Now, with that said, again, this is a non-spoiler review. To continue on with that conversation of this character who goes by Sabra in the comics. They don't call her Sabra in the comics. And also, because of the backlash that the character faced, they did do some reshoots with regards to the character, and they changed her backstory. She's no longer, you know, Captain Israel, more or less. They made her a former Black Widow, and she's still from Israel, but also with that, after watching the movie and seeing the role that her character portrayed, and she was also originally going to be a mutant in this movie, but they took that away, and now she's just a former Black Widow. But for the people who are concerned about the character and concerned about the inclusion of this character, I will say, like, for the most part, this character was a nothing burger in this entire movie. Like, throughout the movie, I kept wondering, why was there such a big deal? And I'm not talking about for the audience, I'm talking about for Marvel and Disney in and of itself. Why was it such a big deal to include this character, especially after they did the rewrites, considering she really didn't add anything to the story? Like, for the most part, if you take her character out of the movie, nothing really changes. Her character was essentially inconsequential for the plot of the movie. You could have replaced her with any generic character and still gotten the same results. So I was just like, why even put her in the movie? And there's a thing that I would like to discuss in a spoiler review, so I guess I'm gonna have to do a spoiler review of a better way, not for this character in particular, but the role that her character fulfilled, that the movie would have been way better, and it would have made, honestly, more sense for it to go the way I think in my mind than this actual character, because this character added nothing to the movie. She was barely, again, she was barely a thing. So for the people that are concerned about it, like, yeah, she was barely a plot in the movie. They mentioned that she's from Israel one time, and then she's a former Black Widow, but they don't really go into her backstory. They don't mention her being the superhero Sabra, because like I said, they changed that. But yeah, her character was basically pointless. But with that out the way, going into the movie itself, like, I overall, like I said, this review is going to be all over the place because of being a mixed bag, but I will say overall, I did enjoy the movie. I had a lot of fun watching this movie. Sam Wilson, Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson, and being the lead of this character, you could definitely, I feel like he's definitely, you know, can carry his own movie. He definitely is very charming. Like, even in the Falcon and Winter Soldier, granted, one of my biggest criticisms about the Falcon and Winter Soldiers, I feel like they gave more for Bucky than they did for Sam. We learned more about Bucky than we did Sam. The only thing we really learned about Sam was that he had a sister, but for the most part, I feel like it wasn't really his story until you got towards the end where he took on the mantle of Captain America. But I do feel like, you know, he's good when carrying his own movie, and the chemistry that he had with Danny Ramirez playing Joaquin Torres, who is the new Falcon. Like, I really enjoyed seeing the two of them interact with each other, and they had great chemistry together. And honestly, I feel like Danny Ramirez is kind of the heart of the movie, and I wish we got to see a little bit more of his character, a little bit more of his backstory, a little bit more development of his character. And so with that, I also kind of feel like, again, with this movie being a mixed bag, I found it weird that this movie was only like, it wasn't even 2 hours. It was like an hour and 58 minutes. And then when you take away the credits, so this movie was less than, let's say the credits are like, the end credits are like 15 minutes. So this movie was really probably like an hour 45-ish. It's one of the shortest MCU movies ever. And I kind of felt the type of way about that. I was like, damn, you're giving Sam Wilson a movie and you're giving him the shortest movie? Because I definitely feel like this movie could have been a little bit longer, because there are certain characters, especially, like I said, we're talking about Danny Ramirez, or there are other characters that I feel like were fully underdeveloped, that they could have let cook a little bit more. Had the movie been a little bit longer, we could have we could have had that time to let them cook. This movie should have been longer. I don't understand why it was so short. And I was going to get my positives out the way first, but like I said, this review is going to be all over the place. But because this movie was so short, in many ways, me personally, even though I liked the movie, overall, I would say that this movie is pretty forgettable. Like, I enjoyed it while watching it, but then after you get out the theater, after the movie was said and done, you're just like, all right, like, granted, obviously, Captain America Winter Soldier is like one of the best MCU movies ever. For the most part, no other MCU movie or no superhero movie is going to come to close. I'm not going to say no, because at least in the MCU, there aren't really many movies that have come close to the stellar impact or the stellar cinematography, all of that stuff of Captain America Winter Soldier. So obviously it's not on that level. I would say for the most part, out of just the Captain America movies, and I know how this is going to sound and people are going to take it, but I'm going to add caveats to that. I would say this is probably the worst of the Captain America movies. And that includes Captain America 1, Winter Soldier, Civil War. And now I guess this is technically Captain America 4. I would say this is the worst of the Captain America movies. Now, with that said, I'm not saying it's the worst MCU movie. I'm not saying the movie is bad. Again, because a lot of times there's nuance doesn't exist on the internet. I'm not saying the movie is bad. I'm not saying the movie isn't worth going to see. I'm not saying I was bored during the movie. I'm not saying it's on the level of Thor: The Dark World or Thor: Love and Thunder. Nowhere close to that. Like I said, the movie is enjoyable, but out of the Captain America movies, this movie was the worst one. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that the movie was short. And so even with the message and the themes and things that they were trying to say, because it was so short and because it was kind of rushed, and also because of what I thought this movie was going to be in terms of like introducing a new set of Avengers and really pushing this next phase of the MCU and really pushing Sam Wilson as Captain America, which yeah, it did that. He is Captain America, but like I was expecting more of a political narrative and a political thriller and more of like fully cemented like, hey, this is the new Captain America, which again, it's like they did, but it's like they didn't. It's like after this movie was over, like in many ways, I feel like with all the stories that they have in the comic books for Sam Wilson as Captain America, at least in the MCU, they don't really know what to do with him. Because like I said, in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, it was more about Bucky than it was about Sam. In this movie, I feel like as much as I really enjoy Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson, and I do feel like he's a good leading man, and the chemistry between him and Danny Ramirez, like, honestly, this movie was a Hulk sequel. Like, it felt like they wanted to make another Hulk movie, but I guess they just decided to put Captain America as the protagonist of a Hulk movie. Like, honestly, in many ways, I feel like, going kind of what I said about Falcon and Winter Soldier, I feel like this movie was more about pushing Thaddeus Ross, Harrison Ford's character, than it was about Anthony Mackie. Because for the most part, everything surrounding this movie was about, again, callbacks to the Edward Norton Hulk movie. That was basically the entire narrative of the movie. Like, it was more about going back to there were so many references in this movie to the 2008 Hulk movie. So many references. And again, not a spoiler because he's on the title, he's on the poster, and you see him in the trailer, but then like even referencing Thaddeus Ross becoming Red Hulk. They talked about it, but Tim Nelson coming back as Sebastian Stearns, who in the comics becomes the leader. So like, and the leader is a Hulk villain. They even reference it in the synopsis of like, you know, nefarious person seeing red. That's a reference to the Red Hulk. Like, honestly, it just felt like this movie was about a vehicle of pushing Red Hulk into the MCU than it was really establishing Sam Wilson as Captain America. And that's what kind of disappointed me about the movie. And also why I kind of feel like the movie was kind of forgettable, because it's like they didn't really know what they wanted this movie to be. Did they want this movie to be about a vehicle to push Red Hulk, or did they want this movie to be about Sam Wilson? Now, I will say the CGI for like Red Hulk and things like that, or the fight scenes, like they looked pretty good. They looked pretty dope. But I will say, and I don't think this was my theater in particular. I think it was the sound design period, because when they played music, it sounded good. But like also, I feel like this movie's sound mixing was pretty poor, because during like action sequences and things like that, there are moments where Sam is like using his vibranium wings and using the shield, and they're fighting and punching and flipping and kicking, not just Sam, but Joaquin Torres. They're doing all this good stuff that looks beautiful, but I don't feel the impact of the fight scenes, because, you know, in every fight movie or movie, you always have the same sound when it comes to like people throwing punches or kicks and everything like that. I feel like while I was watching this movie, it felt very muted. I barely heard like the impacts of the punches or the kicks, or you think about when the Hulk showed up and the impacts of the, like, I just feel like the sound design for those was kind of poor. And then I saw it in IMAX. And so, you know, you think about IMAX and the sound, like the sound it's surround sound, and the sound for IMAX is like, it's supposed to hit you. Like, you're supposed to feel a vibration in your chest. And I didn't feel any of that when it came to the fight scenes. And like I said, I don't think it was the theater, because when music played, you felt that rumbling in your chest. But when it came to like the fight scenes, it was just, it almost kind of felt like I was watching it on mute. Like, even when you think about that moment, because this is in the trailer, so this is why I can bring it up, where he's flying and he's going the speed of sound, he breaks the sound barrier, and then he lands on the ground, and then he's like, wait for it. And then like the after effects, the shockwave of him breaking the sound barrier comes and knocks the people over. You would think, like, again, you would feel that rumbling in your chest from the sound while you're watching the movie, and no, it was like a whimper. And I think that's on the sound mixing. Like, it just to me, it just was poor. And then as much as they teased like the Celestial Island, the things that happen in the Eternals with Tiamat rising out of the Indian Ocean and that being the catalyst and the genesis of adamantium being introduced in the MCU, and them showing that and talking about it in the trailer, I thought that was going to play a much bigger role in this movie, but it kind of really didn't. It was just like, it came and went. But yeah, like I said, what they gave us in the movie, it was fun. It was fun to watch. But what this movie could have been, and what I was hoping for this movie to be, especially for Sam Wilson, especially considering the backlash that Sam Wilson is still getting today with regards to him being Captain America and things like that, as if Sam Wilson hasn't been Captain America in the comics since like 2015 and is still Captain America today in the comics. You have two different Captain Americas, just like you got multiple Spider-Man and all this other stuff. Like, the fact that he's getting such backlash, I was hoping this movie would be like a way to be like, yeah, fuck you guys, told you, Sam Wilson is the Captain America. And yeah, it did do that in the sense of like, he was good in the movie. He was fun to watch. I enjoyed watching him. I enjoyed watching Joaquin Torres as Falcon, but I feel like we didn't get enough of that. I wanted to get more, and this movie should have really been and driving home that again, there's so many different storylines to tell for Sam Wilson, but yet they wanted to tell a Hulk sequel. And of course, with this being a Black Gay Comic Geek channel, I gotta say, this is gonna be a little joke, but it's not. It wasn't gay enough for me. I'm like, there were several moments where I'm like, Joaquin and Sam, I'm like, kiss him, kiss him. And other moments with I was just like, come on. And that would have made it perfect for me if that would have happened. I would have been like, yes, okay, good. There was a moment where he took off his shirt, Anthony Mackie, and I was like, okay, you've been working out, Anthony. Okay. And we already know from previous work that Anthony Mackie is not opposed to playing a gay role. Like, if you saw Striking Vipers on Netflix, or even there's a movie that he started when he was first starting out called Brother to Brother, like, he's not opposed to it. He's done it plenty of times. But yeah, I don't know what else I could say, you know, without spoiling the movie. There's a lot that I do want to talk about. Maybe I'll go live to do a spoiler review, or maybe I'll just do a pre-recorded spoiler review. I'm not sure yet. But like I said, I had fun, but ultimately the movie was forgettable. And so with that, I will say I'm a little disappointed with the movie. That doesn't say don't go see the movie. The movie's not worth watching. But like I said, I was hoping for more. I wanted more, especially a longer movie. And again, I don't know why they had, like, if you wanted to tell a Hulk's, like, even while watching the movie, I'm just like, where's the Hulk? You need the Hulk in this movie. And I'm not talking about Red Hulk, because you got Red Hulk, but I'm like, where's Bruce Banner? Because they mentioned Banner so many times in this movie. Again, it's like, they clearly wanted to do a Hulk sequel, but then they threw Anthony Mackie in here for some reason. I don't know why, but again, it's not like they don't have stories with Sam Wilson as Captain America that they could have adapted into live action. So the fact that they went this route, I don't know why. And then especially with like Harrison Ford as like Thaddeus Ross, I don't know why they also went that route, because Harrison Ford is like 82 years old, and you could tell by the way they did this movie that they kind of want to have more of Red Hulk in this movie. That's why they introduced him as the Red Hulk, that they want to have that character further along. But like, yeah, Harrison Ford is 82 years old. So like, but with that said, Harrison Ford did a really good job as Thaddeus Ross. Like, you could tell Harrison Ford had fun in this movie. He definitely came to play, and you feel that. Like, granted, it was still a little weird because he's not the original guy whose name I can't think of, William Hurt, I think that's his name, who unfortunately the reason he was recast is because he passed away. But I thought he was good as Thaddeus Ross, and I would like to see more of Red Hulk in this movie. But again, like, I don't know. But yeah, overall, like I said, I enjoyed the movie, but again, it's forgettable. But with that said, the movie comes out officially tomorrow for everybody else. So once you see the movie, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I know there's a lot of mixed reviews regarding this movie. There's some people that didn't like it. There's some people that liked it. There's some people that loved it. Like I said, I enjoyed what I saw, but I was disappointed. But I was also kind of disappointed with what I got. But so yeah, mixed bag for me, but I still overall enjoyed it. But let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section below, or if you're not going to see the movie, let me know your thoughts about, potentially boycotting the movie or whatever. All of your thoughts in the comment section below. Again, guys, thank you guys so much for allowing me to hit over, not even just 10,000, but a little over 10,000 subscribers. So let's continue to grow. Let's get to 11,000, 12,000, 20,000, 100,000, 1 million and more. Like, let's go beyond plus ultra. And so hit that like button. It'll really help with the YouTube algorithm, getting this video out there, getting my channel out there. Some more eyes can help me grow the channel. Tell your friends, families, and neighbors about my channel to help me continue to grow. Hit that bell notification button so you're alerted every single time I post a new video. And as always, I will catch you guys next time.